week 13 of the I Formation. I'm Jeff Gibbons.
I'm John Moist.
We just want to apologize to our fans out there in Cyberland for not having our show up on time for the first time in 13 weeks. We had some unforeseeable circumstances that kept us from filming on time. So, to alleviate that, we did go out on a limb on our webpage about the first game of the week, and we both picked New Orleans to beat Atlanta. So here we are in real time the day after, and Drew Brees had a stinker of a game, threw 5 interceptions for the first time in his career, and didn't manage to throw a touchdown pass for the first time in 55 games, we'll say, because a 54-game streak goes by the wayside. Atlanta came to play, showed up and did a good job. So this week, we're going to take things a little bit differently. We're going to do a very quick show. We're going to recap our picks for the rest of the week, and stick around.
Hi, welcome back. We're going to jump right in now with our picks for Week 13, starting with San Francisco at St. Louis. What do you think?
I don't think this is a big surprise. We're both looking at the same thing. San Francisco with Colin Kaepernick out front, quarterback. Alex Smith thinks that sucks, but you know what? I think you got to give the kid a start. He's opened some new avenues of the playbook that really weren't available to this team. And I think you've been saying it all year long, John. You've been characterizing this team as a team that gets the job done, doesn't make mistakes, and they win with their defense. I think now you've got this explosive offense in Kaepernick. I think he's a cowboy. I think that it's the same as the syndrome that we had in Denver last year with Tebow. But how long is that wave going to ride? Maybe he can win them 3 or 4 more games. But someone's going to get a beat on this guy, and I think they're going to slowly bring him in and reel him in. But right now, I don't see it any other way but San Francisco.
Also, an interesting note is that Jim Harbaugh was the man that traded up to get Colin Kaepernick in the draft, and that may be a reason too why he's more willing to go with Kaepernick over Smith. Kaepernick does have scrambling ability that Smith doesn't have, and he is definitely a great athlete. So Harbaugh decided to ride the hot hand, and he's going to go with him here. Now, last time these two teams faced each other, it was a 24-24 tie, and I don't see that this time, though. San Francisco is just, they've been playing at the top of their game for a couple of weeks now, and I think that they're not going to beat St. Louis easily, but I think that they will.
Yeah, the X Factor is that St. Louis is at home.
One score, perhaps.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Moving on, Houston is in Tennessee, and I don't think this is a lot of gray matter used to come up with this answer.
Well, I think Tennessee can give them a game strictly because Houston has New England next week, and they may try to overlook Tennessee and concentrate more on that New England game. They may get in trouble right there because Tennessee does have a decent team. All that being said, I think that Houston will win it despite their injured defense. I think they can handle.
They need to concentrate on stopping the run, I think.
Yeah.
But you're right. I think Houston in a fairly close one.
Yeah.
Jacksonville is in Buffalo.
Jacksonville has a very poor run defense. Buffalo has Spiller and Jackson, and I think that Buffalo will control this game on the ground. I think that both Spiller and Jackson have good days, and I think Buffalo wins this one by a touchdown.
It may even make Fitzpatrick look like a real quarterback this week. I think even Johnson gets some action once they've established a run. You're right. Mm-hmm. I think Buffalo, and it's not close. Indianapolis is in Detroit.
Well, I like Detroit in this game because I think Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson are due to hook up here. Indy's pass defense is a little bit susceptible. It's going to be a shootout because both teams depend on their passing games more than their running games. And I think Detroit has a little bit of a better pass defense, and they also have the #1 pass offense in the NFL right now. And I think that they can win this one.
I think the run, though, is important. I think that they have to establish the run. I think Michael LaShaw is going to have a game for them to be successful and to get the ball out wide. So I agree. I think Detroit wins this one. On to Minnesota in Green Bay. And we've seen the Packers humbled last week, right?
Now going back home.
And now going back home and licking their wounds, and I think Minnesota's a plum for the picking.
And Minnesota's defense is great against the run, and not so much against the pass, and they're up against Aaron Rodgers now. We have a healthy Greg Jennings back for this game. We have Jordy Nelson, Jermichael Finley, a lot of weapons there in the air for Green Bay, and I think that Green Bay will win this one handily, 10 points.
I would think that still missing Clay Matthews in that secondary. That could be the Achilles heel with Adrian Peterson if they get the ball done on the ground. So
Good point.
yeah, could keep it close, but I don't see. I think Green Bay wins this game on pure sheer will. Next we've got Seattle at Soldier Field to play.
And
the Bears.
The Bears. And the Bears are beat up in this one. I mean, you got Devin Hester is out. We don't know for how long. Forte is probably going to be on limited duty, so they do have Michael Bush, so it should be all right for the running game. And I believe they have 2 starting guards gone down to injury. One's gone for the season, and there was someone else as well. Tillman is questionable as well. So the Bears are a beat-up football team right now. But Ehrlicher will be there. Briggs will be there. Seattle has only had 1 road win this year. And I think it'll be close because the Bears are beat up and Seattle's relatively healthy. But I think the Bears will win this one anyway. I'm going to say it's just by a field goal, though.
I think it's going to be close to it, but yeah, I think at the end of the day, the defense still has enough stand to hold those receivers in check because they're not going to be able to run the ball, I don't think, against that Bears defense.
Defense difference.
Okay, so moving forward, now we've got the Patriots going in for the Sunday afternoon game in Miami to play the Dolphins. Yeah, it's sort of like when your puppy is sick and you know you're not going to be able to make him well. I mean, me being a Dolphins fan here, I don't see this any other way but a blowout. Earlier in the season, if you'd ask me, I think, with some of the offensive weapons they had, or they have, I should say, I'm just not sure what's happened to the Miami Dolphins here. I think everything has caved in on itself. We saw a few good games out of Ryan Tannehill. We saw Reggie Bush run the ball really hard, Daniel Thomas running the ball, but then all of a sudden everything stopped. And Miami also is not using the tight end in Fasano, who I think has got great hands too, but they're not a tight end kind of team. And you've got a New England defense that is just, last week it was laughable. Again, was it last week the Jets? They smoked the Jets.
Yeah, a couple turnovers there.
Yeah, they had 3 touchdowns in 52 seconds.
Yeah, a couple turnovers for touchdowns, I meant.
Yeah, Edelman, the ball whoop, and Edelman is running towards it, and then runs into the end zone. They were pretty pathetic. So you know what, this team, as much as I hate to admit it, New England is really starting to pull away from the rest of that AFC East. And while I still figure them, they're going to be 3rd seed, possibly in the conference. I still think that they're going to crucify Miami this week, and too bad. And the sad thing is, that's the only way I get to see my Dolphins on CBS because the Patriots are playing them. So.
Yes, the best thing the Dolphins got going for them is that they got the 6th ranked rush defense in the NFL, but their pass defense is susceptible. They're facing Brady and high-powered New England passing game.
It would need a perfect storm for them to win it.
Perfect storm would do it. That's about it. New England big.
All right. Next, we've got what we don't agree on. We've got Arizona in to see the New York. Oh, it's the Jets.
Yes.
Now, you know what? Got to tell you, the Jets looked poor to me last week. Arizona has had glimmers of brilliance this year. Their O-line has been suspect, but they have managed to put points on the board in a couple of games of late. And I just think that the Jets are terrible. I think if they win, I think Arizona goes into New York and they win this game on the turnover game. I think they have to establish by scoring points on turnovers. If Sanchez and company are mistake-free, they win this game hands down. But I would look for the upset to be Arizona to go into New York and beat them this week based on turnovers. And we all know what happens when you win the turnover battle. That's my take on it.
My take on it is that the Jets, what they do have going for them is a good pass rush. And Arizona's weak offensive line going up against a really good pass rush. I see who's going for Arizona this week. I believe it's Lindley, new quarterback. Not going to be able to read as well with the defenses, and I think the pass rush will get to him several times. I see him getting sacked 5 or 6 times in this game, and I see the Jets winning in a low-scoring battle.
Okay. Carolina's at Arrowhead to play the Chiefs.
Chiefs suck. Period.
Next. Tampa Bay playing the Denver Broncos in Denver.
Well, my Broncos are hitting on all cylinders right now. I mean, Manning is having a career year, and you've got Denarius Thomas, who I think might be injured right now, but I think he's going to play. Eric Decker and Ronnie Hillman on the ground. They also got spell on the ground, and they got a good ground attack, good air attack. Their defense, though, has been spectacular. And the defense is the reason that the Broncos are where they are right now. And although I do think that Tampa Bay can stay in this game, Tampa Bay does have one of the worst pass defenses in the game, and they're up against Peyton Manning at Mile High. I don't think that Tampa Bay can beat Denver in this game.
Cue the fourth quarter comeback, though, because they can't put points on the board on the ground with Martin. And I think that he takes control of that game late in the fourth quarter, wins it for the Broncos. I see 5 points.
No, Sean Marino was that other running back I was trying to think of.
That's the one.
That's the number one guy.
Next, we've got Cleveland going into Oakland to play the Raiders. And guess what, folks? I had a gold star pick last week. I'm sure y'all remember. I picked Cleveland at home to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you know what? I'm really, really concerned about the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. They're not looking good. I think the quarterback is a key piece of that puzzle. But I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I just want to mention those Cleveland Browns, because you know what? It was the defense that won the game for them, not their offense, and all the great calls they make. But I will say, I still think Cleveland carries over. They go on the road. Oakland is a very Jekyll and Hyde team. They could show up and score 40 points, but if Cleveland sticks to their defensive game and is able to keep their running game in check, I think they can beat Oakland at home.
Yes, Cleveland did beat Pittsburgh, and it was a good call. Great call by Jeff to pick, and he did say that Cleveland would win this game on defense, and that's exactly what they did. With regards to the offense, 8 turnovers. 8 turnovers, and you score a total of 20 points. So how is that? You couldn't get more points than 20 out of 8 turnovers. I know that the quarterback for Cleveland went down with a head injury in this one, and I think that maybe they should check Pat Shurmur for some previous head trauma as well, because there's definitely something going on there. I'm going to pick Oakland in this one because I think Carson Palmer is a better quarterback than whoever Cleveland's putting in there. Probably Colt McCoy, not sure. And I think that Oakland has a better passing game, and I think that they're going to win this one 6. That's about it.
We'll see what happens. Next, we got Baltimore at home to Pittsburgh this week. And you know what? This is a must-win game for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but unfortunately, I think it's out of their grasp. Roethlisberger has been officially ruled out for this week.
I know.
And I don't see. There's shining and glimmers of Ray Lewis showing up at the practice field now. And he is eligible. The earliest he's eligible to play this year is week 15. And it's an incredible comeback to come back that fast, because that injury can usually take 4 to 6 months. If anybody's going to overcome something like that, it is Ray Lewis. And just to see him on the sidelines, they talked to the guys this week. Terrell Suggs was saying it would be huge to have him back. You know, you can feel the momentum building. And this is a team that we thought was decimated defensively, which was their trademark or hallmark. And now we're seeing them put points on the board, quietly winning 4 games in a row. A couple were squeakers, but they managed, like I said before, good teams find a way to win games. And now they're up against their nemesis in that same division, and I think they're going to push them away. I think they're going to beat these guys bad this week. I think they're going to. It's a good old-fashioned stomping. I say 2 touchdowns.
I don't think it's going to be 2 touchdowns. Baltimore does not lose many home games, though, and I know I was talking to last week, and I was talking about Pittsburgh being able to win with any quarterback. Well, they need one a little bit better than Charlie Batch. Ben Roethlisberger is a piece of the puzzle that's needed there. I was wrong about that. And with Charlie Batch going up against Baltimore and Baltimore at home, I really don't see Pittsburgh being able to do it. However, I do believe that Pittsburgh has a better defense when completely healthy than the Baltimore Ravens. And I think overall that Pittsburgh has a better team than the Baltimore Ravens this year. Until Lewis comes back anyway. Now, when Roethlisberger comes back into the mix, Pittsburgh's going to have some work to do because they're going to lose this week.
Well, I guess, you know what? The Baltimore Ravens have the sweetest smelling defensive line, but they've got better piano players than Pittsburgh. Next, Philadelphia in Dallas. And you know what? The Philadelphia Eagles. 2 years ago, I picked that team when I looked at them on paper to win it all. I really did. Just so much talent. And since that time, you still have all these players, and now will certainly decimated by injuries. Deshaun Jackson, LaShawn McCoy, Michael Vick still woozy from the concussion, but none of these players have been real go-to guys all year. Nobody has seemed to crank offense out of any one of these.
No leaders.
They're all elite players, and you're right. There's nobody leading that field. I will be surprised to see Andy Reid after this season. I think he has to go.
Gone.
And it's a shame because he's done so much in that city. But you know what happens first. I mean, you can't just fire all the players, and they're going to have to work with this. I think Michael Vick is going to be getting his walking papers too. He'll be a free agent at the end of this year. He'll be somewhere else. But this team just can't get it done. I think Dallas right now, who still clings to a playoff hope, I think Tony Romo and Dallas do the job. Felix Jones is back this week. He's probable now. And I think, we're going to...
Marco Murray is as well.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that, I just think they're a better team, and they're at home. I think they put it together, they beat Philadelphia.
Yeah. Dallas's running game is back with Jones and Murray, and they have DeMarcus Ware, who I always talk about. DeMarcus Ware, one of the best pass rushers in the game. And Dallas does have a great pass rush, and Philadelphia's offensive line is not playing well this year, and I don't even think this one's going to be close.
Yeah.
I see Dallas in a big way.
Yeah, in Jerrytown. And now we've got the Monday Nighter. This is going to be an incredible game, I think. We're both on the different sides of the fence here. New York Giants are in Washington to take on the Redskins, and I think this is going to be an incredible football game.
Well, that was my big pick last week. I picked the Giants to win that game against the Green Bay Packers, and I said that they would win it by 2 touchdowns. They won it by 4 touchdowns. The Giants looked like Super Bowl champions last week. They're going up against Washington. Washington's looking awfully good lately as well. However, with the Giants clicking on all cylinders, I will pick the Giants to win a close game against the Redskins in Washington on Monday.
And you did. You nailed that pick. I didn't see that coming with Green Bay at all. I really thought they put up much more of a fight. But you're right. The team is working on all cylinders. But this Washington Redskins defense, with London Fletcher, he had another interception last week. They just, when the chips are down, 3rd and longs, they're stopping opponents. And I'm finding that with Morris and, of course, with Griffin, they're just, the whole team believes in them.
Number 1 rush offense in the NFL. Right now.
It is. And just finding ways to juke off people and get that extra yard. Morris is he's just putting off a clinic. And even out of the pocket, Griffin can still run the ball. And, he's had a couple of multi-touchdown games recently, 4 touchdowns back-to-back. So there's a lot of offense there. They're at home. They cling to a playoff hope here now. They're still there. This is a huge game. They have to beat the Giants to get within a game. And I think they're still in the mix. And I think the Giants, I think Washington wins this. And I'm even going to say it's going to go overtime and it's going to be a field goal.
There's a good pick.
All right.
We skipped over Cincinnati, San Diego when we were on our way down.
All right. We missed that one. Cincinnati and San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
And we differ on this one too, I think, don't we?
No, I'm going with Cincy.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's even better again. Cincinnati is a team to watch. On the rise, getting the job done. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, the lawyer at the office. He's, the running game has really come around there. And where's Cedric Benson now? On injury reserve. As he catapults into the abyss of his career. But I think, I don't even think this is close either. San Diego's a team in disarray. I think Cincinnati has enough firepower to beat them by about 10 points.
Yeah, I see a big game here for Randy Dalton as San Diego's pass defense is not that great. They have a good run defense. It's just that Cincy's going to take it to the air. Look for big games at Andy Dalton and A.J. Green. I think Cincy wins this one by 10 points.
Even Gresham might catch the ball this week.
You never know.
Well, that's the picks for this week, folks. Stick around. We'll give you our final thoughts in a moment. Hi, and welcome back. And this is the part of our show where we just want to say thank you to all of our viewers out there who stuck with us all the way through now to week 13. It's a pleasure for us to do this show for you, and we love to hear from you guys. So continue to look for us on Facebook. Remember, it's the I-Formation, all one word. And also, if you want to subscribe to these videos so you get the emails, you can check out the channel for Omega Adam 474. And John, I think you wanted to say a few words too, didn't you?
I just want to give a shout out to our buddy Dion Rideout out of Makovic, Labrador, who watches us every week. And Dion, I hope you enjoy watching your 49ers beat St. Louis this week. Dion's a huge 49ers fan and a great guy. Way to go, Dion, buddy.
It speaks volumes that they don't have much on cable because he's watching us once a week. We can't wait to get you in here again, man, and do a little partying. So hang in there. Watch for those 49ers. That's the way we saw it this week, folks. Come see us again next week, and we want to thank you again for being part of our membership. Make sure you spread the good word, and make sure that you give us a plug so that we can get more people the good news. Come back and see how we did next week in week 14, and we'll talk about next week's picks. So until then, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Have fun.